Yo, well, what's going on? It's just a lazy day, really, but we're gonna test out something. I've got the LOUPEDECK. Ever heard of that? Many people have heard of the Stream Deck by Elgato, but what about the LOUPEDECK? Let you research some of that, but it's spelled LOUPDECK. And it's got some features that I think Elgato recently woke up to, got some ideas from. And not just them either. There's like well, actually, I won't mention what other similarities there are. How about just taking a look over here? Because this is where it is. This is my LOUPEDECK. I don't use it as often as I do the Stream Deck, but I certainly like to for other reasons entirely different than what I use the Stream Deck for. Now, programming the LOUPEDECK is very different, and because of the differences in like the way that it feels, the way that I place it, and how I want to use it, it just turns out very different. But I'm going to try to utilize that to my advantage, so that way I get a intuitive body memory or muscle memory. I think that's how it is, but an intuitive muscle memory tied into what I'm trying to do. Now, to be more specific here, let's move it on over here. So, hi again. Yes, and so that was handled through my mouse. I just used a function that was handled through a macro that was used in my mouse. Now, if I focus on to OBS, then I can use the LOUPEDECK to transfer through my scenes and go back to this one, as you can see. And I probably should give it a second because OBS has got these transitions it's trying to work through, but yeah. So I can do that through the LOUPEDECK, or I've programmed my mouse to do certain things as well. But the mouse is supposed to do things to make it so that way it's a little bit easier. So when I come over here, I've also got a macro set up so you can see what I'm programming it into the LOUPEDECK. Now, what am I trying to do at the moment? Because I'm trying to do something with OBS, and I figured if anything, it would be a good time to show how hard it is to program this, because the difference is, whether it be the layout, the choice in how to move around your grid, which matters, and I'm on a pretty sizable screen right now, at least the biggest one that's in front of me, and it's bigger than my laptop screen, so it's got a 1920 by 1080 resolution, by the way, but that's not as important. It is I can't remember, I think it's a 24 inch, but so there's different things I can program. Now the fun thing is I got these knobs. Let's see if it actually shows what I'm doing with the knob, or doesn't really show what I'm doing when I'm pushing the things, but okay, so I have knobs and they have buttons on it. I have this gigantic wheel which has a touch screen on it, which you can program to do different things, including have pages of things, but the main thing is that it does have a turn wheel on it. Buttons on the side, whether it be the left right here or on the right, and then a row of buttons right here. But yeah, there's 6 knobs total, no sliders. And then on top of that, so something that's more familiar when it comes down to something like the Stream Deck. this row up here, but here's where it gets interesting. So the Stream Deck Plus, they recently added something that's like what they have on the side here, which is a touch screen, and it's not a button, but it's still functionable, and it has rows on top of that, and they can correspond to what's going on with the knobs over here, or you can have it do something else, but it's supposed to just say what's going on, like what the knob does. So for instance, if I see here, I gotta drag something. Okay, well, for instance, maybe I want to just change the scene, so we'll just drag it over here. And if I can't do it like that, because as it says right here, it's only programmable for button push, which makes sense, because what is it supposed to think if it turns it? Whereas if I push the button, so then it put in an icon over here, so that way I could see what's going on. But I can also use it to go through pages, for instance. So if I come down here in the middle, I can add a page. So that's what it is right now. It's a touch page, but I can add a page. And if I want to go through the pages, I can swipe along this guy, the grid, left and right. But say I come over here, I can add a page, dial pages, and I can add more dial programs or pages of programs, and then use the screen to slide it up and down, which is interesting. And I can also, it's kind of hard to use it to swipe left and right, but it can be used to swipe left and right. That's the main point. It can be done. Now, with all that said, some of the programming that is relevant to me right now has to do with going through things just like this and being able to command a lot of stuff with just my mouse, but then at the same time be able to program displays of here's one for the Discord, for instance. So I have it programmed here on the side. But what I want to do, instead of having to come into OBS and hit it, is I want to be able to program it to be able to do it anywhere. Now, the problem that I'm having is that I have to program the loop deck. I almost called it stream deck. I have to watch it there. But I have to program the loop deck to be able to stay on the page that it's on and not change based on where I go. Like, I just focused on the actual screen, and it's going to move around the place, of course. But if I come over to OBS and do things on the side, it changed, but you can't see it right now. But on the side, it did change. But let's see, how are we going to do this properly? I think start here. I was going to do a macro because I wanted it to trigger over and over and over. Hit it once, trigger, give it some time, and that's where we were at starting here. But I need more space, so you can change the how much space you have, the layout. You can also zoom in on the loop deck and zoom out, which is nice, but interesting. Okay, so what if I say just keep zooming out? Keep zooming out. It's going back and forth. I don't understand what it's doing, but we'll go like that. And move this up a little bit. Alright, now I haven't messed with the macros too much, but I at least have a vague understanding because I've gone through it before. Right, I can have it do a bunch of different things, but I was hoping it would do something with OBS directly. I could always find shortcuts. That one's the easiest. That's how I managed to do everything else, including with the side window over here. That's with just shortcuts in OBS, but again, that's tied into the mouse right now. So that doesn't quite count. And let's see here, maybe. So I have my sources, and then it's under side. We're under number 2. Let's see here. Now what's up with that? Why is the Discord one not there? That's interesting. It doesn't want to count that one, huh? That might explain a little bit. Okay, maybe, well, I'll just try something else. Can I, it says I can drag an action there. Good. YouTube ad, but what do I do with it? Action type, it's just action, right? Delay. So YouTube ad. But does it know what it's doing? And then it adds an action. Action type. A delay. The delay in milliseconds, I don't know. It seemed like it's like a 3 to 4 second video. Let's see. Let's see it. What does this run at? 6 seconds. All right. And if we put it on a 7-second delay, because then it'll trigger again. Now, I think I have this set up where it's not automatically. It says restart playback when the source becomes active, so I don't know why I didn't do it automatically. I had to literally push the play button. All right, there it goes. Now it's working properly. Now let's see about this guy here. We'll save this. buttons down in the corner over here, but save that. So now we got a new multi-action. The new multi-action up here. Let's see. Let's push the button on the loop deck. Oh, it works. Good. So I couldn't find the Discord one, but there's the YouTube one. So it does work. Okay, all right. Now, let's see here. It didn't turn the source off, but let's see here. I'll turn it off that's not that's the YouTube one. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know that in the programming here that it's actually set where, okay, so if I have the source off right now, I want it to trigger on and then turn off again. So there's a delay, and then I guess what I need to do right here is then put in another action and drag the, where was it at? It was under OBS, way down here. YouTube ad, drag that back over here so that way it turns the source off when it's done. Save that and roll program. Okay. Triggers, right. Runs itself. I don't know if it's the same time as the Discord hack, but all right. And then it turned the source off. Good. So that way, when I roll program again, it turns the source on. I have everything pre-programmed in OBS to minimize coding and processing. Just I need it to be quick, and just, you know, pop like when it really needs to. Roll a program, you know, and then also do the full thing and do it nicely. But okay, loop deck. All right, nice, and it's doing it from its own program. Let's see if I focus on to something else. Let's see if it still does. Okay, so I lost my screen on the loop deck itself, and that's the problem. So if I'm in OBS, good. Right now, how about that? That one's a tough one. Okay, so I can roll up here, and this is where you can start picking on, like, if it automatically chooses and what it does, and you can pick different workspaces as well, which that one gets a little bit tricky. Once you get into workspaces, you already got all these pages you can program into everything, and then even on these buttons over here, you can come off to the side and you have an alt function, because the button down here, if you trigger that one or that one right there, like all these have alt functions. These ones don't. These ones are straightforward, but all the buttons down here have alt functions. I don't think the wheel does. Yeah, the wheel itself doesn't. And then I think these buttons are all pretty straightforward too, but yeah. Oh. It's like that's too much. So the Stream Deck is a little bit more straightforward in its layout, but this one is very comprehensive, and it's definitely for when you come over. Okay, so I've got the LOUPEDECK CT plugged in right here. So this is very good for like, okay, so I have these other programs, for instance, Premiere Pro, for instance. I don't think it's going to show too much. Let's see here. The home page. Yeah, I don't feel like it's showing much. Editing. All right, so yeah, there we go. So then we got all these pages upon pages upon pages upon pages of stuff, right? And then even still, you got all the dials too. Whoops, move the dials. Dial page, dial page, dial page. And then I don't know about on the wheel. I think that one, okay, that's all the same. And then the alt functions between things. All the alt functions, and then same with all the stuff up here. And I think there's different workspaces entirely, but yeah, that's what I mean by it can get comprehensive. So I did something for Minecraft and I emptied it, and that's where I'm at right here. But as far as like well, not right here. Where was that? I was with the OBS workspace 1, but you can change your workspaces, and this is so workspace number 1 or number 1 with all of its additions and stuff like that. And I can add another workspace which has its own set of pages, its own set of dials, and I can program it into these buttons if I wanted to, or somewhere like in the dial, like just turn the wheel and go through workspaces, for instance. There's, you know, so in the respect of it being like the Stream Deck, you can definitely give it a bunch of different pages. So, okay, that's just a little bit of the functioning, and hope that that shows something, because it's definitely something to me. But otherwise, we can just close this away. Right? Yep. Close this away and say goodbye, because yeah. Alright, I hope you like what you see. If not, I don't even know. Oh, just subscribe, follow, check us out with other stuff. And also, that Discord, it actually is real. Come check us out.